Hi, I am Chisom for the uninitiated, and the company I work for, Reddit, recently IPO'd. Evidence I worked at Reddit. Swag. And how does it feel when the company you work for IPOs? For the people confused as to why I look like I'm in the middle of nowhere, filming from a sketchy alleyway, trying to not get abducted, let me tell you how my day started. I have to start heading out to. Oh shit. So I have to start heading out to Sintra. I have not gotten anything ready. I don't know how actually going to get there. It's already 5 o'clock. But I realize every adventure starts off with me doing some stupid shit. Let's get to Sintra. So I just landed in Sintra. I am a very unserious person and I don't care. I have no social inhibition. So we're going to film today's videos. The first thing I'm going to talk about is what happens when your company IPOs. So Reddit is like an old teenager. It's like 18 or 19 years old. So if you even worked in Reddit like 5-6 years ago, the questions of IPO came up. It's a very important thing at that age of a company. Actually, you know what? Before I go down that route, how did I actually become a software engineer? I studied computer science at the University of Notre Dame, studied math at St. Mary's College. Go Bells. Did not get the computer science degree because I was too poor, but did get the math degree from St. Mary's. Afterwards, I worked at Energy Exemplar as a company my mentor worked at. I worked there as an intern. Before that, I interned at Facebook. And after that, I was applying to companies everywhere. I applied to Square, I applied to Microsoft, I applied everywhere. I got to the third round of multiple interviews, but did not make it past the third round. And then I applied for Reddit. In fact, at that point, I was so heartbroken from the application process that I emailed the recruiter when she wanted to talk to me. I was like, oh, you don't need to reject me over a phone call. And she was like, we don't plan on rejecting you. At Reddit, I was an infrastructure engineer. Being on the infrastructure team, I got to meet some of the most exceptional engineers I've ever met in my entire life. In fact, I am so grateful to have been there as an engineer and seen how the company had just grown at that time. That was like 3 years ago. Anyway, there is something so magical, so wonderful about an IPO and a company going public. Most people will never live in a country where there will be a way for anybody to start and build a great company. And not just anybody, but multiple people. Seeing Reddit IPO, it makes me realize how we need to be in a society where young people can build awesome companies and can do so easily. Like, I contributed a tiny portion of this, literally such a tiny portion to this. And even after I contribute such a tiny portion, when the company IPOs, everybody gets more money. I'm like, I want to live in a world where wherever Steve or Alexis or any Steves or Alexises out there that are building their own companies can bring those companies to life. Because even just those thoughts and those ideas and those early days that they built were the foundation that lots of people had to rebuild over the years, and everybody benefits from that. All the investors, all the engineers that did all these fucking on-call rotations, all of us get to benefit from that. And that is what makes tech such a wonderful thing, is that tech is one of the few industries where literally some new grad software engineer can benefit so much from an IPO. And so Reddit's IPO makes me so happy because it tells me that we should continue to build a society where young, ambitious people can build amazing companies. And if enough of them do so, there can be more Steves and Alexises. And then there can now be more people like me, Chisom, who have benefited from their actions. So what are some of the war stories I have as an engineer? They're actually not that many. I actually have a friend, Matt Knox, who worked at Twitter when it was Twitter. And he talked about some weird story working at Twitter. And I'll just put a link to that below. You can actually just check out what Matt experienced. But what are some of the interesting stories that happened? I think I've actually already shared them in my other videos. I think I've actually shared them in my other videos. So I was a software engineer. I did software. I did coding. I typed buttons and hoped that one of them would I clicked away. No, I clicked on keyboards, typed letters, ran code to make sure that one of them was successful, or some of it was successful. How does that make me feel? It makes me feel very smart. I'm smart. I am exceptionally intelligent. But I knew that my code was infrastructure code, so AWS. So I wasn't building code that stuff that regular people use. I only build stuff that engineers use. And I like engineers, but I don't know if I like them that much to work on stuff that we use, especially such niche stuff like Kubernetes. Like the problem I had with Kubernetes is that so back to the design agency. So I learned a lot about Webflow. Oh no, you guys can come in. Please ignore me. I don't know if we're allowed to drink this, but I am so tempted to do so. Tell me this castle does not look haunted. Tell me it does not look haunted. I know what castle it is, but it's haunted as fuck. So let's film in front of a haunted castle. If any spirits follow me back home, please don't. I already have enough problems. My first step is to get a portfolio done. I've spent the past 2 days trying to build mine. I have an idea of how I want the portfolio to look, but it's been taking forever and it's been hard because I'm my own worst client. So an option you have is to use a Webflow template. Webflow has lots of templates that make the process of starting, building, deploying, and just getting your own web portfolio up and running. And not just portfolio, but for other different types of websites. Webflow has lots of templates that you can use. I'm a neurotic designer, so I want to control every pixel of this entire site. But if you're just getting started out, or you really want a way to be able to iterate quickly, you can use a Webflow template to get your site up and running fairly quickly.